With the load, to kind of summarize it, we're trying to bring our hands back. As we step forward, we get super wide and athletic, okay? Then from there, once we create that stretch, now I'm in a super powerful position where I'm ready to deliver the barrel. So my feet are wide, hands are back. Now I want to feel like this back hip and this back shoulder kind of turns a little bit to the ball. And so this back hip's turning. Because I'm so tense and stretched out with my body, my barrel will naturally just turn too. So now my barrel's perfectly in the way of the ball and it's starting to go. Now, it's really important that my hips stop. Your hips cannot rotate too much. If you just rotate your hips a ton, you're gonna pull off the ball and hit a ton of ground balls to your pull side. You're gonna be late on a lot of fastballs. You're not gonna get your barrel to where you need it to go. So we wanna make sure that we turn our hips, but then stop them very quickly. And so when we keep our weight back kind of like this, we use this front hip to lock out this front leg. Now we have to stop our hips. I can't go any further. And that kind of creates this whip effect. Like a whip works where the handle stops really quickly. The rest of the whip comes through very fast. This is kind of like the rest of the whip, the bat is, right? So I turn my hips and stop. The bat should whip right through the zone. The turning of the hips will turn your bat for you because there's so much tension. So it'll look something like this here. And once I stop my hips here, this straightens out. My bat will whip right through the zone. Will stay in the way of the ball for a really long time, which is probably the most important thing, because then we can make consistent contact, but also because we created that stretch, we have a ton of pop, a ton of power, you know. Now, a really common thing, we're talking about this in our podcast today, is that once kids make contact, they sometimes struggle coming up or off of it. So we got to make sure our arms just keep going through the ball as long as we can until we get to this point. This is called extension, where my arms are extended to the ball. And then I can finally start to think about finishing. Doesn't matter if you go one hand finish or two hand, it's whatever works for you. I go one hand a lot just because when I was a kid, I was always copying my dad. I was copying Ken Griffey Jr. So I just kind of do the one-handed finish. But we want to get to the extension too, so that if I get beat with a curveball or changeup or something, I can still hit it for power pretty well. So that's a really big thing. Avoiding the over-rotation is key though. My hips have to stop, right? If they keep turning and turning, we're never going to get that whip effect. We're never going to swing fast enough to create the exit velocity that we need, okay? A really good way to avoid the over-rotation if you're struggling with it still, even after just hearing this explanation, is the recoil drill, which we have an example of that on the YouTube channel. But you swing, come back, step over the plate. If you do that, you can see it's almost impossible for this front hip to open up a ton and over-rotate. Some other things that are really helpful too, when you're swinging, try to send your hands towards the opposite way. So for me, I'm a lefty, it's left field. Trying to send my hands opposite way really helps. You can also do the crossover drill, bring your back foot back, so you're kind of like, it's like a kick step. It's kind of like, you know, I'm crossed over this way. It's like Will Clark or like some of the 90s hitters where they're kind of have a closed stance. So you hit here and it stops you from over-rotating really easily. I think that's probably one of the most helpful things to create extra power in your swing. So those are all really good ideas. Now, if you want more, you know, examples of drills, there's some more stuff on our YouTube channel, like for the stretch, doing the stretch drill can help, you know, doing the crossover drill, doing the recoil drill, all stuff will help a ton. So with hitting, that's kind of all I got with that. If you can focus on that, your mechanics, making sure we stretch with the load, we're super athletic, keep our barrel in the way of the ball for a long time, and we don't over-rotate so we can create that whip effect. You know, you're going to start to swing faster. You're going to hit more consistently too, because you're going to keep your barrel in the way of the ball. And that's really what you need, because we need to increase the power, increase the exit velocity to give you a chance. And we also need to prove that you can hit off of high-level pitching, right? And to do that, your barrel has to stay in the way of the ball for a long time. You got to be consistent, man. So if we can do both those things, hit it hard and keep our barrel in the way of it, you know, you're going to start to see some serious results and turn some heads.